Okay, so it's time now for our featured speaker, and our featured speaker today is Francis Reckholder, but I cannot pronounce the other name, what's...
Amritasri.
Okay, I'm not even going to try to do that, so can you explain that to us?
Amritasri? Because if you come into Facebook and you befriend me and you're trying to find me and you only see a last name Reckholder, it says it's Amritasri Reckholder rather than Francis Reckholder. That's because Francis is more of a spiritual name for me, and it means nectar of all auspiciousness. It was given to me by my master, and so I use that because just saying that name and even thinking about the name is very powerful for me, and in terms of my connection, with what's around me. Yeah, so that's how it is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so Francis is here today to talk to us about
GeneWize.
GeneWize Life Sciences. I've heard a lot about this company. I knew some people that used to do it, but never got too far into it with me. And I'm so pleased and honored to have her today to explain this on how DNA is going to help you basically better your life. With the DNA sample and the supplements that are available. So without further ado, please welcome Francis A. Reckholder. I'm not even trying to say it.
Thanks, Elias.
You're welcome.
Well, today I want to talk to you about how you can have a healthy lifestyle through your genetic expression. Because right now you are seeing probably Dr. Oz and Oprah, and out there you're seeing books coming out with genetic nutrition, genotyping your diet. What is your genotype? What's the evolution? You are all part of the evolution. It's out there. And then being gene smart, okay? So you're seeing that is happening. And so let me take you back to what this is all about in terms of genetic expression. As you know, the Human Genome Project was probably finished around 2000, 2001, 2003, and they discovered like 24,000 genes. And so from there on, they're finding that there's so much that they have been able to pull out of this information, of all this research. And it's an advantage because a lot of you probably have heard your parents say, well, you got your bad DNA, your bad gene from your great-grandfather, great-grandmother, or whatever, and it's like, okay, I'm stuck with this. Well, now they're finding out you have the genes, but that doesn't mean that you are going to be, that gene, because you can just through the change of your lifestyle, you can do a lot with what you inherited. They're finding out like twins, as they get older, one may gain a lot more weight, the other one doesn't gain weight. They're twins. It's like, how did that happen? Why is one heavier than the other? And it's just the lifestyle. It somehow through their lifestyle and how they cope with the environment and stress of life, they've been the genes start to express themselves. Now I'm trying to find an analogy for you, because first thing you have to know, you have your genome, your DNA. But right on top of that DNA sits the epigenome. Epigenome is what expresses who you are, what you are, what you're going to become. Okay? Now, you can, as you get older, the gene can start to unwind. The gene, and so the epigenetics, the epigenome, starts to pull out the information as to what could possibly go wrong with you, okay, regarding that gene. Look at it this way, like you have your Windows, okay, software. Like think of it this way, the DNA is your hardware and your epigenome is your software, okay? You guys got that? Does that make sense? Okay,
yes.
So just think about it where you take your Windows and put it in a Mac. You know what's going to happen. The chip, same chip, same thing, same hardware, but now you're talking about you want the Mac to express a Windows. Well, something's going to happen in that process, it's just not going to be how it's going to be. Well, same thing with us, with what we have in terms of our genetics, how we eat, how we live our life, what our lifestyle, how we grew up emotionally can affect the genetic expression of what's going to happen to you. And so you can do something about that. And this is what epigenetic therapy is. They're finding out, like the conventional medicine, like they say, oh, cancer cells, you inherited the cancer cells, so therefore you're predisposed to cancer, right? And so what do? Conventional medicine, they treat the cancer cells so they don't multiply, right? Well, through epigenetic therapy, it's not you treat the cancer cells and kill them so they don't multiply, because that doesn't work. We've been going through cancer therapy now for 30, 40 years, 50 years. It's not working. We're still we're still seeing mortality rates, right? Well, what they're finding out through epigenetic therapy is you take that possibility of silencing that genetic expression. You may be predisposed to cancer or diabetes or Alzheimer's or autism or what, but you can silence that expression just by changing the way you eat, just by changing your lifestyle and strengthening the cell membrane that's helping, that's going to cause the degradation of the DNA. So let me share with you what happened to me. Okay, what happened to me was a few years ago. I inherited some really bad genes. So anyways, one day I've been suffering from a lot of things. One of them is eczema and psoriasis ever since I was a little girl, and everything just toned down. But then somehow I eat healthy. I lived a good lifestyle, and then 7 years ago, for no reason at all, considering I ate right and everything, I just fell apart. My whole skin just fell apart, and I ended up with thickening of the skin. My hands were breaking up. Like, I was constantly itchy. I was so itchy. Like, I couldn't heal because I kept scratching my face. I kept scratching my body. I was bleeding constantly. And I'm a massage therapist. I'm a craniosacral therapist. And wearing gloves while you're working is not how it works when you're a massage therapist. But I had to, because I just had a lot of issues going on in my hands. It was hurting constantly. So I tried everything. Medical doctors, of course, will do what they do. They give you the medications and just keep giving you until something works. And then it does work for a few months, and then all of a sudden, once you're off that medication, you just totally fall apart. Even worse, 1,000-fold. So and then I tried natural remedies like Ayurvedic, acupuncture, chiropractic, holistic, you name it, because that's my kind of lifestyle. I try to live a natural, healthy lifestyle. So something just wasn't hitting it. Who knows what it is? Nobody knows how. So the company came to my spa one day, and they talked about genetics. Like, this is the in thing now. This is a new technology. And I didn't understand how this would work, this new technology. But I know that, hey, I'm made up of genes, so I gotta figure out, if this is something new, I've gotta just check it out. So I had myself swabbed, and swabbing is pretty much just, I had one of these DNA kits, and I got one of these things, and peel it open, just swab myself like CSI or NCIS, filled out the forms, sent it in, and a few weeks later, I received a DNA assessment. It's actually 4 weeks later. So I'm going to pass to you a copy of my DNA assessment. Let me explain to you how that DNA assessment works. Okay, so I got this, and the green means I'm okay. I didn't inherit anything of the 12 markers that they found, the biomarkers. But the yellow means that I inherited one disadvantaged gene, okay? Fortunately, it doesn't tell you if it was my mom or dad, because I'd be really mad at one of them. So, no good about it. But then, the red is a red flag. That means I inherited both.
You can be mad at both.
Now I can be mad at both of them. So let me tell, the first one was a vitamin D receptor. I have a yellow on that one, as you can see. Now the vitamin D receptor did you know that this receptor accounts for 75% of the entire genetic influence on bone density, right? So when you have a disadvantaged gene like I do here, this will lead to osteoporosis, bone loss, unstabilized blood sugar retention, affected normal cell division, lower bone mineral density, and fractures, right? So here I am, all these years I've been taking vitamin D, didn't know that I wasn't absorbing it. Because you know why I know? Because I wouldn't have these skin issues. And you know why I know? Because then I wouldn't have this gum disease. I have this gum disease I've had since I was 30, had 2 gum surgeries.
Wow.
And yeah. And I've always been threatened by my dentist that you're going to lose your teeth one day when you turn 60. And you know, that doesn't sound good when you're, to learn that you're on your way to losing your teeth and you don't know what to do about it. So what happened was, so that has a lot to do with the vitamin D receptor. I'm not utilizing the vitamin D that I was taking from whoever I was buying it from. And so what the company did for me was they provided vitamins and minerals to maximize the bone formation and to increase bone density, mineral density, and also they boosted it. They added more calcium, more of course, a certain kind of vitamin D, and also they added vitamin K to lower the risk of fractures. Now, I wouldn't have known this. I'm fine. I can get D and C calcium, but vitamin K? Who told me to get vitamin K? Nobody knows about vitamin K.
Never heard about vitamin K.
Yeah, it's like, do you see a store selling vitamin K? No.
Get for carrots.
Yeah, well.
K for carrots.
Yeah.
K for carrots. Sal.
Sal, K for carrots.
K for character, right?
Sal. Now look at the second one. Now this has to do with the mechanism of detoxing of your liver. When you have a poorly performing detoxification system, like this tells me I do, that means there's going to be a constant fatigue and a constant loss of appetite for me. There's going to be skin problems. Well, yeah, that's me. I mean, your skin is a filter, so is your liver. Well, if your liver's not working, do you think your skin's going to work? And premature aging and poor immunity. As you can see from the photos, I was on my way to aging prematurely, and that's pretty frustrating because you know perfectly well that, there's got to be something better out there. So what they did is they boosted this with like green tea extract, the thistle family. I know all of you probably heard of milk thistle. People say, oh, work on your liver, take milk thistle. Well, how about artichoke extract? Has anybody ever told you to take artichoke extract? Well, that's also part of the detoxing. It has to do with the effect on bile flow and liver protection. Then, of course, your cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and kale. So the next one, it has to do with coenzyme Q10. You're seeing it now. Costco has bottles of coenzyme Q10 out there, and people are going, you've got to take coenzyme Q10. Well, did you know, I'm one of those that cannot process coenzyme Q10. I just can't. Genetically, I just can't. So I could take all this coenzyme Q10 that's out in the store, but my body's just going to spit it out, throw it out. I need the process for it. Well, my body won't even process it. I mean, talk about not working with me. So what the company does is they give me, in my supplements, they give me the process form. Now, how many of you guys can buy coenzyme Q10 in the process form? Well, you don't even know you need to buy it in the process form. Well, they don't sell it in the process form out there, right? It's too expensive. But the company knows about this. They know about that 75% of Europeans have this issue, and 25% of Asians have this issue. So there is a processed form of coenzyme Q10, which of course you're not going to be able to buy in the store. Now, I'm okay with this SOD2, as you can see, the manganese superoxidase dismutase. I'm gonna not say these these words here. I'm just gonna say this is the free radical defense gene. So, as you know, free radicals are found all over. They're destructive. They will tear out muscle tissue when you work out. They will tear out tissues, connective tissues when you're stressed. And if you're not eating right, they'll just break down. So you need your body. You need your body to be to work with you. So otherwise, the chances of premature aging, breast cancer, prostate cancer, macular degeneration, cardiovascular diseases is a red flag if this is an issue in you. My mom has breast cancer. My sister has breast cancer, but I didn't get the breast cancer part of this issue. Instead, I got something else, which we will turn on the red flag later. So anyways, so it's green tea that they boosted me with green tea and white tea extracts and bilberry extracts and spirulina and niacin. So that's in my formula. Now, if you go to the next one, this plays an important role, the glutathione peroxidase. This plays an important role in DNA synthesis and repair and the metabolism of toxins and enhancing your immune system. So this is when you have a disadvantaged gene, that means the person doesn't have the ability to utilize selenium, which is really important in terms of how you fight the free radicals also. And so if there's any mutations in this gene, it can lead to cancers, arthritis, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, right? So what the company does is they boosted it with some citrus biflavonoids, ginkgo leaf, astragalus root, milk thistle, anthocyanins, turmeric, alpha-lipoic acid extracts. It's like, what? Well, go to GNC and try to figure out, I need this list. You can have a whole shopping list going, well, I just found this and here's my list. Half of that you're not even going to find at GNC. And half of that you don't even know how to pronounce, right? Because they're not going to learn the spelling bee for that one, right?
Most people don't know that GNC is plastic.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff is done by lower suppliers.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll explain that too. So it's really important that, to know that the research and development has been done for this. This is all about epigenetic therapy, one of many that's out there, in terms of nutrition. Now here I have a collagen health gene. Oops. So this is not fun because this is degradation of the collagen. Again, premature aging, inflammation, joint pain, and an increased risk of skin photoaging. All of us know about photoaging. When you go out there in the sun, you better wear a sunblock, right? Otherwise, your chances of cancer of the skin is really high.
Did I wear a hat myself here?
Oh boy.
Because I've had sunburn on my head before.
Yeah. Well, I had this issue, okay? Coming from the country of the Philippines, I get sunburned ever since I was a little girl. It's like, go figure, for somebody who's tropical, I get sunburned. I'm going, I have the melatonin, right? Isn't that what the melanin, right? Well, guess what? I didn't realize that this was a genetic issue, right? So, a year after, I'll explain the product, but a year after my formula, I stopped getting sunburned.
Wow.
It was like, what happened? I just stopped getting sunburned. I could go out now. Of course, I'll wear my protective sunblock, and it works. My sunblock works because I'm just thinking I would wear all kinds of sunblock, and I'll still get sunburned. So I just thought that was all irreversible, but it actually is reversible. There's a lot of things that I reversed when I got into this, this kind of program. Now the next one, if you turn it over, we're getting the good one here. This is the cardiovascular gene. I'm in really big trouble here because my chances of coronary artery disease, cerebrovascular disease, liver and kidney disease, thyroid conditions, Alzheimer's, depression. If I don't have a good lifestyle, I can express this gene. This gene will express itself on me, and I'm not for that. That's not my cup of tea. And so what the company does is they put the right ingredients in here to lower my homocysteine levels and to enhance the glutathione activities. So they boosted me with the B vitamins. I mean, you name it, they put the B vitamins in there for me. The betaine, the dongwai, and the zinc. I wouldn't have known this, but I tell you what though, I was given a hint years and years ago before this was introduced to me. I happened to be at a Whole Life Expo, and there was this Chinese herbal doctor there, and he reads the irises. A lot of you probably don't know that. You can tell how the people's diseases are, I mean, what their sicknesses will be just by what's in their iris. If you go to an iridologist, they can see. Well, I said, okay, I'll let him see what's in my iris. So he looked at it, and all of a sudden he gives me all these bottles that I should buy. And I'm going, why? And then he gives me a list of what these bottles are, and I'm looking at him, and it says heart disease and digestive issues. I go, what the heck? Oh yeah. I don't have any heart disease. My health checkups have been always perfect. And so I thought, okay, forget it. He's just trying to sell me bottles. Until I got this, I'm going, oh my God, that old man was right. You know, at least this is scientific for me, and to see the paper that this is my report card of my body. I'm going, wow, I really have to take this seriously. And so the next one is a cardiovascular enzyme gene, and this one has to do with the way a disadvantage is the cause of manufacturing these defective enzymes that can't clear the homocysteine level. For somehow, I've been able to kind of neutralize that with this gene from my red, my two disadvantaged genes here. So what they do is they boosted it up with more betaine and choline as a boost. So that's very helpful. Now, here's another one, the tumor necrosis factor, another biomarker. And now this one has to do with the way it's a chemical messenger. And a disadvantage of this is atherosclerosis and arthritis, cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes, overreactive inflammatory response. So they boosted it again with milk thistle, because again, here we are with the liver. Always, the liver is what is biggest is a filter, not the biggest, because the skin's the biggest filter. And also green tea, grape seed extracts, pomegranate extracts, they're all there because the research has linked that these natural plants have been able to help in terms of naturally healing us. The next one is the cholesterol oxidation gene, which of course we all know what cholesterol does, atherosclerosis, cardiovascular diseases. So they boost, if you have this issue, a disadvantaged gene, then the mushroom extracts come in and the vitamin E comes in on that one. Now, the next one is the CYP, the aldosterone, which is the blood pressure gene. So this one has to do with hypertension. As you can see, I'm very, very red on that one. Yeah, both my parents have high blood pressure. And so what the boost does is it helps maintain my blood pressure levels and strengthens my heart to help the hypertension. Well, actually, I don't have any heart issues at all.
You have the blood pressure?
Yeah, I'm like, my medical doctor says I'm perfect. She hasn't seen this yet. But anyways, but I don't have this until that Chinese doctor saw that he sees it in me, in my eyes.
So what kind of stats done lately?
Oh, have I had my stats done lately? I haven't, and so far, nothing. Yeah, I'm still good. Yeah, my numbers are fine. Yeah, I'm still good. Yeah. So here they put the hawthorn berry extract. How many of you know hawthorn berry? People, right? Well, hawthorn berry is great for blood pressure. Well, how many people do you know are taking hawthorn berry? Well, no, nobody knows about hawthorn berry extract except for Jim. So
Jim knows everything.
Potassium, right? Okay, so that's Now, the last one is a cholesterol gene. I'm okay with that one. Again, you know where that leads to, the cholesterol gene. Coronary heart disease, impaired glucose tolerance, increase in cholesterol, lower density lipoprotein, triglycerides, and then impaired coronary and cerebral circulation. So here, they boosted with green tea extract, grapeseed extract, and artichoke extract. So this is pretty powerful. And so that I got, and I also have a skin GNA that formula is pure vitamins, minerals, and macronutrients and nutritional compounds that are United States Pharmacopoeia National Formulary, which is a public standard way of setting authority over a prescription and over-the-counter medicines, and they widely recognize it in food and dietary ingredients. So they look for quality, purity, strength, and consistency. And so there's also fruits, vegetables, and botanical products in here. So the whole foods are air dried, so there's no heat, and it's very low temperature drying. And the juices are concentrated, and the extracts are, from the plant material, right? And so the way they manufacture this, the final customized formula, it follows strict good manufacturing practices guidelines for dietary supplements, and it's made in what they call an ISO 9001 certified facility, which is the International Organization for Standardization. And so each of these formulas are blended using a proprietary titration system that customizes the amounts of base formula and the boost into vegan capsules. So this is my 1 month supply. I don't have 10 bottles or 5 bottles, it's all in here, and this is what it looks like. Now, to tell you how fresh this is made fresh before they ship it out to you. If I leave this out for just a few hours, it turns black. Same thing with your food. If you leave your food out for a few hours, it turns nasty. It's oxidized. So this is telling you the food you're eating is freshly made, right? It's not processed. This is telling you, same as this, it's not processed. It has no binders, no fillers. So leaving it out here will cause it to oxidize. And you don't want to take, so when you look at all your supplements out there, you don't know how long it's been on the shelf, what the shelf life is, how long it's been sitting there, where it's traveling from the distance. You don't know what you're taking, and of course, to preserve it, you got to have binders and fillers in there for something to preserve the product from oxidizing. So this is telling me how fresh it is. Okay.
Would still be okay to take it even if
Well, I don't know. Would you eat your spoiled food after 5 hours out there?
No, but my question is, accident can happen. Let's say you thought you had locked the seal, and it was left open.
I see.
Everything's gonna turn black, and just wasted the whole month of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's why this is precious to you. You would take care of your own supply. It's like, but then what I would probably say is, I've never done it, and I probably would call the company and tell them about my oops, and maybe they'll send you a fresh supply. Yeah.
Or like a real warning, like published warning.
Well, they tell you ahead of time already. Don't leave your bag open and have a buffet.
We're so used to vitamins that leave it there for a little bit until we're ready to eat it.
Yeah, that's true. You can take and put it in one of your pill containers and take it with you. That's fine because you're not, it's not like out in the open, and sitting out there. So that's okay. Now, also for the skin. Now, this played a big role. When I had my skin issue, I couldn't wash my face. Even putting water on my face was so painful. It was like having acid on my face. And it was like 1,000 needles were on my face. So it was very painful to put any product. And when they first introduced the product to me, I just put a little bit, and I'm very brave about things. Usually they say put it on top of your hand and see what it does. I'm going, I do this, I'm going to see it on my face, and if my face hurts, that's it. I wouldn't even do this product at all. When I put it on, because I've never been able to put anything on my face, when I put it on, my face just went shh. I could totally feel it relax, and I could feel the red, in an hour the redness was toned down, because my face was so red. I mean, it was inflamed. I looked like I was on fire. So the cleanser was another one. The cleanser, all of these products that they have for the skin has no water. If you look at all your lotions out there, the first ingredient is water. And you're paying, you want to pay for the active ingredients. That's what you're paying $100 for when you go out there to buy a good lotion. But you're not. It's all water.
Brings up a good point, because oftentimes in the health club deal, the first ingredient is water, and the ingredient receiving is at the bottom. You do not have it.
Yeah, you don't want that product because you're paying big money. So you want ingredients. So the first product, the product here is active ingredients. It has no water. So think about it this way. You have your blender and you're saying, I'm going to put all these good fruits in there and I'm going to get the best out of this fruit. And then somebody comes around and dumps a cup of water in there. It's like, excuse me? They're thinning you out so they can feed 10 people, right? No, you want the good stuff, right? So what you put in your blender, you want to drink it all to yourself, and it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. Well, same thing here. It's all active ingredients. It's supposed to do what it's supposed to do, and it does. So that was really one nice thing I noticed right away. So let me tell you what happened. 3 weeks to the first thing you get, because it takes 4 weeks to get your DNA assessment. So meanwhile, the company is going to give you your base formula. This is assuming that all your genetic report has one disadvantaged gene. So that's pretty potent stuff. So I got my first package, and I had a blood test done months before I was introduced to this company, to find out what the heck is going on with me. So I had an immunoglobulin test, which was like $400 to do blood work. And I found out I had this whole list of foods that I was reactive to. I was so reactive. I couldn't have eggplant, corn. I would just totally react. And it was just like a big list. So, and mushrooms, I couldn't have mushrooms. I couldn't have any algae, so forget sushi, because I would get itchy. So anyways, when I saw my formula and I saw, oh my God, they have mushrooms and they have spirulina and algae in here, I'm going, this is not going to work. But I said, you know what, it's only going to be 1 month that I do the base. I'm going to have my second one and I'll see what happens, right? So I took the base, and in 3 weeks, I noticed that somehow I wasn't as absent-minded as I used to be. For 2 years, I was so absent-minded that when I go out of the store, I can't find my car. I don't know where I parked it. How many of you guys cannot find your car sometimes? You don't know where you parked your car?
Sometimes.
It's fine.
Sometimes, like when you're at a ball game or something.
Yeah, you're just like, even a small parking lot, you still can't find your car. What's wrong with that, right? So I was going, and that was happening for 2 years. I would try to, I couldn't remember stories. Like, I would have a conversation with somebody, all of a sudden, I totally go catatonic, because I'm like, all right, what the heck was that person just talk about? I can't follow through it. I'm going, what's going on? So I just thought, okay, that's it. I'm getting older, right? So I go, so at 3 weeks into the product, I noticed that I was getting very sharp. I just knew where things were. I just knew what was happening. And that was another thing. Now, 1 year on the product, not only did I have my skin back and my hair is softer. I don't have hair all over my pillow every morning like I used to. My hair is softer. My sister's hair is really coarse, and she's younger than me. But this is what happens when you get older. Your hair kind of gets wiry, or you lose all your hair. But that's another story. But mine was really just wiry. Then another one was my gum disease. Every time I went to the dentist, I always got in trouble from my dentist saying I wasn't doing much for my teeth. I'm going, what? I tried every product. I was spending so much money on my gums and cleaning it, mouthwashes and whatever, and I'm getting yelled at by my dentist saying it's not good enough. And so after 1 year in the product, my dentist doesn't yell at me anymore, and I don't get the clacking like I used to get, and my gum pockets are not they're like, they quieted down. They're not like getting deeper, because supposedly I'm supposed to have gum surgery sometime soon, but my dentist says you're okay for now. Just keep up what you're doing. So my nails have gotten harder. I used to have soft nails every time I get a manicure. I don't know how many of you have that problem. But anyways, if we get a manicure, they always say, God, your nails are so soft. Well, I was like, okay, what does that mean? Now my nails are like so hard that they're flying all over the place, right? So, I mean, this is what I mean by genetic expression. You can silence that gene so it doesn't express itself. And so you can, this is what is a new innovation now. We're the only one right now, the only company that does this, that has, patents, and we have 600 peer reviews. When your DNA comes in, they do a double-strand study to check, to make sure that these are what the assessment says. So they go up and down your strand to make sure how the biomarkers are, and there's like some patents pending and patents on this. So there's not going to be you want to find a company out there that can reach the consumers this way, but GeneWize. And so that's pretty much what I have to say for now. And so, I have swabs, if you're interested in getting swabbed, and I totally recommend that you try this for yourself and see what you can do. Or if you know somebody who went through what I'm going through, people with multiple sclerosis. I have one that did really well. Yes? Well, the ones that are out there that claim the genetics, what's going on is they just know that this is good for your cardiovascular, so they compare things that are modulated for that. But it's not customized to you, right? It's just modulated for the genes as what they have found in the research study, which is cool. That is what's going on. But what about something that's customized to you, personalized, tailored to your needs? No, they don't do DNA testing. They just know that from all the studies that it leads, people with certain skin conditions can use these certain ingredients, and they prepare it for that, right? So it's here, but then the tailored one is even more. So, the one size fits all doesn't work anymore for us. We have innovation, we have the technology. We can, it's now you can go personalize and customize.
I just want to see if I understand this correctly. So this is, we call this the expression.
It's called, it's a biomarker.
Okay.
But not like an expression. It's like a biomarker, the possibility of expressing to what would happen. So it's like a biomarker.
So what I'm saying, this helps us recognize, or the manufacturer, to what kind of deficiency you have or what needs to be done. So if you do another test swab,
will it change?
Would it change? It would still show the same, right?
Right, because your DNA is your
it's never
DNA.
changed. Okay.
It's not going to change. It's how the DNA expresses. That's what can change. Yeah. Just like your software can change, but the machine's still there. It's either a Mac or
The hardware is still there, yeah.
the hardware is still there.
So on this question, when you did the test again, do we have more green?
No.
It won't change.
It won't change because this is my DNA. But the research has shown the expressions of what can happen, what I'm predisposed to. I can change that. We just, and this is called the lifestyle change. But now, instead of just a lifestyle change, saying I'm just going to eat right, lower my calories, it's more like, there are other things that could, because you've heard of athletes who just have a heart attack just like that, right? They eat right, they exercise, but then all of a sudden they just got kaput on them, in the middle of running, right? That's all genetics. That's the genetic thing is happening there. And so the expression, something happened where the stress of exercising, that's an environmental factor. That's an oxidative stress. That will push you to the limits of how you can adapt into that stress. So that's why it's important that it's important that you find out what it is you have, and then work from there. At least you have that.
Time for one quick question, then we have to wrap things up. We're getting late, actually. Time for one more question, if anybody has any.
Oh, one more question?
Yeah.
Anybody?
And then we have to move forward. We have to close the meeting down.
I have swabs, so you're ready. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
so much for listening. And if you have any questions more, you know where to find me. And go ahead and keep the report. I check my site down there for anything, and then pass it on to somebody else. They can go into my site and order the swab, and it doesn't cost them anything to order the swab. And so at least, but then it does cost to process the swab, you know, to get the DNA assessment. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Francis.